Hey guys, Bait Rager here. Playing a game called the Stanley Parable. It's basically a decision-making game, and you follow a narrator. But basically, I'm not going to follow the narrator. So let's see what happens. Begin.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Sounds very
Orders
fun.
came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
That sounds boring
Though
as
he had
fuck.
been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Well, Stan these days
And
only
then
get
one
turned
day,
to shit.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in
'Cause he's
all
got no
his years at the
friends.
company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Managed to have the office. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Are they hiding?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Where are you? Margaret, John, Joe, Fred, Frank. Are you playing tricks on me? Is it open? Hello? Bollocks.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No. No! Fuck you! Let me out! Let me out! Oh, you bastard. Hello.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yeah, and tell that fucker what the think he's doing. Boss's closet. Broom closet. Is there anything in here?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nah, we'll go down. Down we go. Ooh, red light. Alright, let's go. Fire hose.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
Yeah, I'll get in trouble.
For that.
You're trying to get me in
such
trouble.
a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
Yeah.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I'm not
All
crazy.
of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last,
You
he
talk a
came to
lot.
the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
What the fuck?
I'm dreaming!
You gonna be going in circles.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
I
And he
freaking
thought to
think I'm
himself,
crazy. I'm going
"I
in
suppose
circles.
I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid." So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa, I'm
Then he
flying.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field.
Whee,
And it too
I'm in
him. It was so
space.
much fun.
Stars,
and
I'm
Stanley marveled that he
flying.
had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Oh.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving
Shut
himself,
up!
believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this
Oh
was in
my
fact a dream.
fucking god,
But the voice
shut
would
the
seem
fuck
to make
up!
the magical stars just a moment ago. How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
It is
So
a
he
dream.
closed his eyes gently, and he
Close.
invited himself to wake up.
Wake up.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one.
Now wake
Let
up,
me
Stanley.
wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
It's boring.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please.
Push the red button.
It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
And my dog.
My life is normal. I am normal.
No,
Everything
you're not.
will be fine.
You're hypnotizing people.
Okay.
Okay. You said I was going to wake up, you lying bastards.
Stanley began screaming. Someone wake me up! My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell
I'm
me
a real boy.
I must be real. I must be.
I'm a real boy. Daddy, I'm a real boy.
And everything went black.
Uh-oh. Someone
This
turn
is
out
the
the
story
lights.
of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
What did she
But on
do
this
to Stanley?
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
What?
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Been looking at a
and
moment.
then she turned and ran.
What the hell was that about? Am I back in my office? What, was that me fucking dead?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Nah.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room, Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I died.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Right, we're going to go upstairs now. We're going to listen to you. Because I died when I went downstairs. Can I go in there? Nope, can't go in there. Let's go up. Well, where am I going? You ain't told me anything. This way?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication
Boss.
of any human life. Shocked,
No, I'm the
unraveled,
boss.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
You just told me. How do I open it? Oh, there it is.
Stanley just sat around
8,
twiddling his thumbs,
4, 5.
trying to input, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad.
You just
Stanley
fucking told
happened
me,
to
you idiot.
input the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer
Amazing.
luck.
He
You
stepped into the
cheating.
newly opened passageway.
Why are you taking me down here? Push the red button. Shit, he didn't tell me to. Was I supposed to do that?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
We will find out. Let's just keep going.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Mind
Mind
control.
Control Facility.
Or I can escape. Fuck you, dudes. I'm out of here.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I don't believe you.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I don't want to turn around. I want to keep
At
going.
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm going to die. Oh. If I literally move forwards, I will die. I'm going to go back. Okay, I listen to you. You're smart. Stanley's dumb. Why did I walk all that way?
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Yes, I did. Especially if I didn't know I was going to die before. Ew, did I push the button?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
24/7
Did he have the
sports.
strength to find out.
Have every fucking football game, baseball, basketball, you name it. Look, on every channel.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
They're
Each
watching
bore
us.
the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
No. Why are you showing me this? Push the button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to
Fired.
believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been
Unlucky
under someone's
104.
control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
What number was I? 427. Where am I? I'm there. There I am. I'm still got my job. Fuck you, 104, or whatever you were.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
No.
Never. It was unthinkable.
But I'm listening to
Wasn't
you,
it?
you bellend.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Well, I guess so.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
I push all
Controls
these pretty
labeled
buttons?
with emotions.
Boop.
Happy,
Boop.
or sad, or content.
Boop.
Walking, eating,
Boop.
working. All of it
Boop.
monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would
Boop.
never again exert its
Beep.
terrible
Boop.
power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yes, we shall break it. Push the big red button. Push. What did I do? Push the button. I'm trying to push the fucking button. Right. What did I do? Nope. Do I push the button? No. Push it! Oh, there's a button up there. 5 3 4 5 6. It's not doing anything. Fuck you, you're too boring. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So pull on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Yes!
Control?
I want to be super powerful!
Oh, Stanley, well, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
I can now
If you
control
want to
you,
throw
little
my
bitch.
story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
The
In
what?
the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
You never
How
said
long until
this.
detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
What?
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine.
Why do this?
You are the star. It's
Off.
your story now.
Off.
Shape
Off.
it to your heart's desires.
Off.
Oh,
Off.
this is much better than what I had in
No.
mind.
Shut
What
up.
a shame we have so little time left to enjoy.
Turn it off.
Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But
I'm
what
outta here.
precious moments each one of them is.
Fuck you.
More time to talk about you.
Run
about
away.
me, where we're going. What all this
Run.
means, I barely know where
Oh
to
my
start.
god, 1 minute.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
No, I'd like
A
to
moment of
live.
solace before you're obliterated.
Don't
All
be
right,
an
I'm in a
idiot.
good mood.
Save
You're gonna die
me.
Anyway, I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
You
I
what?
turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story.
For- what are these numbers
Sometimes when
for?
I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
That's not nice.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I learn to a crisp. I have to say this, though.
No.
This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
What do I do?
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right
Yes.
now?
What do I
Did
do?
you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen,
Shut the fuck
clicking
up.
on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door.
Oh, screw you, I'm just gonna
Anything,
stand here
Something
then.
here will save
Kill
you.
me.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Oh shit.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To
This
see
isn't
you
nice.
made humble.
There's 4.
This is not a challenge.
1,
It's
2.
a tragedy. You wanted to control this
There's
world.
no 3.
That's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
You're an asshole.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
I
30
can
seconds
see.
until a big boom and then nothing. You're
Dude,
ending
this
it.
isn't cool.
Just you being blown to pieces.
Dude,
Will
man.
you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice.
How?
Make it count.
How?
Don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the
No.
moment we fade in until the moment I say,
Don't kill
"Happily ever
me. And we're back where we started. Right, anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, peace.